Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to Kottabos Space Program, where today we are having a look at the landing aiming mod, which is being made by forum user DennyTX. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is an in-flight visual of your trajectory, as well as a predicted point of contact with the ground as you get closer to it, all of which is designed to help you have a more accurate landing, and that is just awesome, especially if you are like me and, well, let's be honest, awful at landing. This really does help you, as having that visual trajectory and an X marks the spot for where you're hopefully going to be impacting the ground safely really does help you have a bit more control. It's very, very fun and a very useful thing to have, and also surprisingly new. As of the time of recording this video, I just saw this thing come out on the add-on release section of the forums a few hours ago. Now, by the time you guys see it, it'll be at least a day, but for me, this is fresh off the presses, and I always do enjoy that. So let's jump right into the meat of things, and thankfully this is quite easy to actually get started with, as there are no parts to look at, so we don't have to go into the VAB or spaceplane hangar. In fact, we just need to go to a ship, and I have a rocket-powered VTOL with Val inside waiting on the runway to show off how to use it. And oh god, Val, run for your life now before I probably inevitably kill you trying to demonstrate things. But yeah, it's pretty simple to actually start the visualization process for your trajectory. All you need to do is go to any command module, and you should be able to do this to any command module in the game, as the plugin updates anything that has the module command tag. So you just right click it, and there we are. We have a new button added into this UI that's landing aim, currently off. And we can just switch that on, and you'll notice we now have a green line and an X under us. Now, the X is your predicted point of contact with the ground, and since we're landed, well, that's just where we're parked. And there is also a green line right here, and that is the visualization of your trajectory, and it is very useful to have. So let's turn on the SAS and start up these engines, just to show this off a little bit better, at least for a little bit, until I inevitably crash. And there we go. We have just that small little line there that does grow as we go higher, and if we angle forward, it changes, and so does that predicted point of contact on the ground to basically change with our trajectory, which of course is the same trajectory that it would show on the map if we had good enough zoom on it to show such a small distance. But there we go, and with it you have a nice visualization of where in the world you're going to be going, and hopefully where you should be landing. Again, though, yeah, you're still gonna need some sort of flying ability, which I don't have. So, oh god, let's actually just land this thing before Val dies. And yeah, it's a very useful thing, and very helpful, and I still exploded. And there we go, I panic accelerated, and now our trajectory is going wildly out into the distance, and so is our landing point. Oh, Val, you are doomed at this point, frankly. So, instead of letting her die, what we're going to do is just go to the tracking station to take a look at how this does visualize your same trajectory when in orbit, because it is something that a lot of us would like to see, as I know a lot of people, and I occasionally do this myself, we like to do a run where we're just doing things in the cockpit or in third-person mode, and avoiding using the map, as it just makes life a little bit more interesting. And let's actually change so we're at least in the sun here, so let's adjust our orbit, and, nope, other way, there we go. Perfect. A little bit more, actually. There we go. Lovely. And what's quite fun about this is if we do exit the map and turn on our trajectory on this, just like we did before by right-clicking on the command pod and turning it on, this does still show. Now, of course, when you're in orbit, it looks like it's just going out in a straight line, but if you see way out in the distance, there's some green specks as the draw distance disappears, where it does start angling outward. And if we do, say, turn on the SAS to retrograde and fire up the engines, and of course then accelerate time, we can actually watch as our trajectory changes live. Oh, it's not letting me. Oh, I always forget that we can't do that under acceleration. Darn you, timing thing. Darn you. Why do I always forget that? But yes, this will start coming closer. Now, it's kind of hard to see at the moment because, well, it's still going far, far off into the distance, but it is starting to move. If I actually just put my cursor right at this point, you'll notice it's already gone a little bit ways down from the tip of the cursor, and actually is almost halfway down the side of the cursor now. So our trajectory is changing even in orbit live as the ship does change its path, which is quite cool, and we're actually almost all the way to the bottom of my cursor there. Lovely, there we go. That is just excellent. And of course, like I said before, this is going to more or less correspond with the same trajectory that we have right here. This is basically what we're visualizing, is this path as we see it in the map, just now with a nice big green line in the world itself, which is a very, very useful thing, especially as we do get closer towards a planet, and as we are starting to land, you'll actually be able to see a better point of where you should hopefully be going. But of course, it does take a while for this line to become useful. I don't even know if you guys will be able to see it in YouTube with compression, but I'm actually starting to see a dotted line that's hitting right about there-ish on the coast. So it is starting to become visible, at least for me. For YouTube, though, possibly not. But it's definitely a trajectory that is moving quite fast now. As you can see, when I kept my cursor stationary there again, it went through it very, very quick, which is just fun. I do enjoy that. So let's actually, we're almost out of fuel, so we should be landing quite easily in the desert here. And once we're out of fuel, we can then time accelerate to see our predicted landing point, and again, how it is a useful tool in these sorts of situations. And almost, come on, a little bit less. There we go. Drop it. Don't need it anymore. And now we can time accelerate. Until we hit atmosphere. Then we can manually time accelerate. And there we go. Our trajectory just continues to change as it updates with the physics in the game, and is getting more and more precise onto where we're going to be landing. And as we get closer, we will inevitably begin to see that X once it does come into the draw distance. Alright, and that is going to explode soon, the other piece. Beautiful. And there we go. No, actually, let's just continue to accelerate time a bit more there. And a nice straight line down pretty much now, so that is going to be our landing site. Just right down there. And we know that for a fact. Now, of course, if we had engines of some form at this point, we could start adjusting, and there is our X, which just suddenly disappeared and has reappeared. Drawing distance. There we go. Lovely. And yeah, we have a lovely little X marks the spot, and we land safely on it. So yes, again, if you did have some form of engines or any other sort of system that you could have to start to navigate yourself as you get closer to the ground, you could then use that X to get yourself into a precise position. Again, of course, assuming that you can actually fly, unlike me. But yes, that is pretty much it for the landing aiming mod. It is a fun one, and I really have enjoyed it, and it will certainly be a useful tool with helping me land ships, hopefully successfully in the future. But that is really going to be it for the mod today. I hope you have enjoyed, and if you would like to check out the mod for yourself, you can take a look at the link in the description as usual. But that'll be it, folks. I hope you have enjoyed. You do come back for the next next episode, but until that time, thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.